Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Neurodiversive SSS. I'm your host, Gianna. And boy, was Evolve really interesting this week. We had a lot of character development and a lot of development from a lot of stars, and I'm going to talk about it. A lot of great storyline building, I will say. Evolve was not really match heavy, but it was really storyline based, and I like how we're building up characters. So before we do, please like, comment, subscribe, and now let's get on to it, because it's a lot to talk about this week. So we open up the week with some woman action with Gianna Capri versus Layla Diggs, and one-on-one action from the altercation a couple weeks ago when Layla and Mason try to help Anya because Capri got in her face. And right away, Layla came in hot with some drop kicks, a leg drop, but Gianna kicked back Diggs, kicking her out of the ring and then laying out some pretty deadly kicks to her back, choking her out on the neck or her long legs, using her like ballerina background. And I like how the commentators brought that up, using her like gymnast ballerina background. Then out of nowhere, Anya Rue shows up. I was like, okay, she's gonna get involved. She does not get involved physically. She does she does like a Kamehameha, Sailor Moon, Power of the Moon style. I don't know, she was acting magical girl, like doing like cute little poses, but then she did like a spirit bomb from like Yu Yu Hakusho / Dragon Ball Z Kamehameha, like Shonen Jump style pose, saying that, well, Gianna's cursed, or Gianna, you have bad luck now. Like, she's trying to steal Danhausen nachos. Like, don't do that. Danhausen cursed people, Anya. Stick to the anime thing. But no matter what, Layla Diggs was able to get a roll-up win. Very interesting. I'm really interested to see how Anya character develops, because if she has these so-called powers now, how does that play with the anime girl? I get it, but like, how are they gonna make this work? This character is really hard to portray, so let's see how far that WWE can portray such a bold character like an anime girl come to life. So let's see how this all plays out in their storyline. But after that, Braxton Cole comes out of nowhere with a rule book telling Mason and Layla that they did not win. That does not count. It does not say in the rule book that magical girls can do some kind of spell, whatever. He does his funny bit. And then he says that he doesn't want to think Harlem Lewis in a no DQ, and that's not even in the rule book. How is a no DQ allowed in wrestling? His gimmick is he's like the prodigy, like he's smart, he outthinks. But it leads into the match of the no DQ, and Harlem Lewis comes out and we're beating the absolute out of Braxton Cole, whooping his butt, like beating him up, ripping up the rule book. I loved it. Then out of nowhere, bringing out chairs, candlesticks, even weird weapons like tennis rackets, cooking pans. At one point, Cole beats up Harlem and then brings out a cane, a walker cane from the VIP, beating up Harlem Lewis and then walking like an old man, really getting into his hero character, rubbing it in the face of like the fans. Really good character work from Braxton Cole. Out of nowhere, Harlem Lewis snaps like a monster, beating him up non-stop, and then at the end beats him up with a belt and then a mop, and then lays him out with a big suplex drop for the win. Pretty good back and forth, pretty good match. And then out of nowhere, Rourke, the champion, comes out saying he's impressed with Harlem Lewis. And Harlem Lewis has been helping him out lately, so he want to return the favor with a men's Evolve Championship match soon. So we have to wait to see when that match get announced. He needed to go talk to Timothy, but he did open that challenge up to Harlem. So I cannot wait to see Harlem versus Rourke down the line. Then we see a promo for the Woman Evolve Champion, the new Woman Evolve Champion, but it's not from Nikkita Lyons. It's from her friend Sloan Jacobs. And it was kind of weird, not in a bad way, but it was kind of new that like the friend of the champion did a promo hyping up the champion. She was like saying that Nikkita told me to tell all of you that she's gonna rise to the top. She's a diva, she's a diva dom, and she doesn't want to do a promo. She doesn't want to talk, so I'm gonna talk for her. Kind of interesting that Nikkita Lyons is so busy right now, she can't even talk to her fans. So Sloan did the promo for her, and then she says next week or 2 weeks from now she's gonna face Layla Diggs, because Layla Diggs tried to get involved in the match that she should have, and that's why her friend Wendy Chu lost. Even though Sloan cheated to help Nikkita, if Layla Diggs didn't come out there, it would be less of a chance that Wendy Chu lost. So now she's gonna deal with Laney to make sure that Nikkita stays on top. So we have to see how this all plays out. And then we had Daryl Dixon come out, the newest man from Evolve, kind of give out promo saying that he did a pretty good showcase, and he did not come to Evolve from NXT from nothing. He said that he was part of Chase U. He left Chase U when it was falling apart, and he's here to redefine himself. And he'd be watching the Cutler James and its gal match very closely, and he says, you know what? Let me bring out someone else who I align myself with. And I told you guys from Session 3, he's aligned with Megan Quinn. Megan Quinn comes out looking like a baddie. I told you. She is his mouthpiece. She did her big one saying that I am his valet. He does not need to respond to any of you. I will be doing the talking. She pretty much tells Chewy, look, me and him are a package duo. So if you're gonna interview him, you have to interview me. Not just that, she said she sees something in Kale Dixon, and she's waiting. They're gonna be waiting. They're gonna be observing the locker room. Not just that, they're gonna be also be observing the women's locker room. And she says to the women's division to be careful because she'll be coming as well. And they're gonna watch this match very closely. So then we get the match of It's Gal and James Cutler in a pretty good rematch from a couple weeks ago. It's Gal right away was angry that Cutler James beat him last couple weeks, so he hits him with a drop kick, and then kind of just popped off, showing a new type of aggression, hitting him Parakarana, hitting a code breaker face, pretty much taking Cutler James down, but Cutler James beats him up in the corner, doing a leg sweep, beating him up. Great back and forth at the end. It's Gal try to hit a Parakarana off the top rope, backfires. Cole hits a killer power bomb into the corner, turning it into the dark side slam for the win. Really good way, and I liked how it just shows Cutler James' power. But at the end, he kind of has to stare down with Daryl Dixon and Megan Quinn, so we have to see how this all plays out. Really interesting storyline, and that's what I mean by Evolve, is really booking their characters with storylines. Then before the main event, we had Elijah Holyfield come out, do a small vignette backstage, kind of talking about how his family comes from a legendary boxer family, the Holyfield. If you don't know who the Holyfields are, they're legendary boxers. They've been around for so long. Like, literally look up the Holyfields. The Holyfields fought people like Ricky, like Rocky and stuff. So he comes from a legacy of fighters, and he says he's coming to WWE to prove himself. And he'd be watching the Harlem Lewis and Eric Rourke match very closely. And he says that Eric Rourke better be careful because, yeah, he's going to go against Harlem Lewis. But would he go against someone like Holyfield, an actual killer in the ring? I liked the promo from Holyfield, so we have to see how he gets involved in this men's championship storyline. Then we have the main event, the giant six-man elimination tag with the Mog Squad versus Cappuccino Jones, Marcus Matters, and Sam Holloway, and a pretty good showcase for the Mog Squad. And guys, before the match started, the Mog Squad all dressed alike. They was in unison. CJ Valor did not have his weird Viking-looking gear. Santi did not have flashy outfits. Max Abrams did not look like he came from Timu. All men looked at like sharp and clean, and they looked in a unison. And I liked that because the last couple weeks, Mog Squad been looking busted. I'm sorry, but they have. I do not like when tag teams at least don't try to match or kind of look at least a little similar. At least try to color code correctly. Because the last couple weeks, Mog Squad looked busted. Each man did not even look like in unison. So I like how now they're actually building themselves up as a tag team. And they showed it in the match. So right away, Santi smacks and gets in Marcus Matters' face. He did not like it, so Marcus Matters pops off, do some killer chain wrestling, taking out Santi, tags in Sam Holloway, and Sam Holloway pretty much wrecks the hell out of Santi like it's nothing. Pretty much throwing him into the ring post on the outside, beating him the hell up. But then we have multiple tags in and out with the Mog Squad really using their numbers game. Then out of nowhere, Marcus Matters get eliminated First one, after Santi and Jakar hits their tag team finisher out of nowhere thanks to Max Abrams and CJ Valor messing around with the referee and the Honor team. Pretty crazy way to eliminate one of the top people involved, but it kind of still continues, because after that they attacked Sam Holloway's injured ribs from a couple weeks ago from that giant locker room brawl. Villain using that against Sam Holloway, he tags in Cappuccino. Cappuccino cleans house, but once again, Santi and Jabbar uses their tag team finisher thanks to the help of CJ Valor and Max Abrams. And Sam Holloway was fighting alone for most of the match after that, but Sam Holloway did a pretty good showcase, hitting some killer choke slams, really King-like moves, but also high flying. So that was kind of cool, seeing him like a big monster like Kane, but also kind of being a little bit of a high flyer like Rey Mysterio. Because out of nowhere, he hit a dive-in splash, taking out everyone, even Max Abrams at one point. But at the end, the Mog Squad was too many members to handle, taking down the big monster and Sam Holloway for the win, doing a triple tag team finisher. They looked pretty dominant, and that's how we close Evolve with Mog Squad on top. So now we have to see how this all plays out. That's pretty much my review for Evolve this week. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week for another Evolve review.